So let's move on to something that is so important, and that is being safe. A zombie attack, fortunately, is very unlikely, but there are some real Halloween dangers that you need to know about.
Bye,
Bye, Mom.
Bye, sweetie. Careful.
Trick or treat.
Oh, yeah, you kids, you can go over here. I'm gonna go get the candy downstairs, but just come in real quick. Actually, you're staying here. There's no candy for tonight.
Wait, what do you mean no candy?
What do you mean? What do I mean? No candy? Meaning there's nothing. But imagine how scary this is. Look what's about to happen.
What were you thinking? You just come into this house? You don't even know these people. Do you know how dangerous this is? Do you have any idea?
We tested you and you failed the test.
So that was a clip from Kobe, person who's done some social experiments. Obviously, the results can be scary for parents to see because it's so quickly a fun evening can turn tragic. We don't want to, spend the entire day talking about this, but that's a scenario right there where you can see leading to some really scary moments.
No, absolutely. And I think parents have to really spend a little time kind of mapping out their trick-or-treat route. What neighborhood not to go to. So figure out the neighborhood you do want to go to and kind of map it out a little bit. If you're not going to follow your child, my mom, she used to follow us in the car. But if you're not anal like that, then you really
want to... She even did that last year, didn't she? I mean, she eventually stopped, right?
She eventually stopped.
Well, we all did that with our kids, that we went along, we tried to hide back in the bushes. We didn't want to be too obvious about it, but at some point, that did come to an end.
Yeah, but I think, too, if you have a big group of children, at least having 1 or 2 chaperones with you is not that bad of an idea. They might protest a little bit, but put on a costume, blend in a little bit and go, but map out the route ahead of time so people know, because actually the biggest accidents that happen during Halloween are actually traffic accidents. Not being seen. Somebody doesn't even see you because you're in a black costume and then you get ran over. So make sure, too, that if you're going late at night, you use reflective gear. I know in Chicago, actually, trick-or-treating happens before it gets dark. It's so dangerous that they're like, let's just do it during the day.
There's power in numbers, and I think you mentioned the earlier trick-or-treating is ultimately going to be safer. Mm-hmm. And not just because of the lighting, but in general, I just think if you can get out there early on.
And you get the good candy, too,
well, that's
right?
the whole thing. I mean, like you said, it's all about that pre-planning. When my kids were growing up, we lived in Darien, Connecticut, and that was, kind of a very... sleepy, quiet community. We knew we were just going to go in a certain neighborhood, but we did map it out, like which houses, which streets are we going to do.
Did you guys pick houses that you knew the people in them?
Well, you kind of knew everybody there. It was a pretty safe neighborhood, but it's a little bit different. Then we moved to LA. They were a little bit older, but then it started involving driving and things like that. So it all depends where you are, I think.
Oh, definitely. And I know where I live in Chicago, they actually bus children into the neighborhood because where some of the children live is you can't trick or treat there. So they actually bust kids into the neighborhood. And so I remember the first time I had a little bag of, my stuff. I ran out within the first hour. And I was texting everybody like, please bring me some candy, please. It's so embarrassing to run out of candy.
Well, there are now no neighborhoods where these neighborhoods, they embrace giving kids candy and making it a safe environment.
Yeah.
And they're in cities across the country now. And the parents in these neighborhoods, they love it. And they, it gets back to making it about the kids. And so all the adults come together and they hang out while they give candy to the kids.
And dress up the houses as much as possible.
Everything's well lit.
Yeah.
Because little things, even just walking down a dark street, it's so easy to sprain your ankle or walk into a pothole. All these little things. So good lighting.
All I remember is my wife taking the kids' candy. She'd have her own little bag of candy.